So yes, good morning students. We will begin with the next practical in the row for the class 11. Welcome class 11. I share you with my slides. Fine. The same topic we have covered in the theory also. So now here comes the practical based on that theory that we have done in the class, in our regular classes. Fine. We have. Aim of today's experiment is to study of the plant specimen and their identification. After their identification, then we have to comment upon that. Fine. So, whatever the material required for this study, the specimens, you will be requiring some specimens, some permanent slides that we already have in our biology lab, and the models as well as the virtual images. With the help of virtual images and all other these materials, we will be studying these different things. Fine. Now, the thing is that the five kingdoms. See, this five kingdom scheme, it is proposed by the Whittaker. Whittaker. So he classified all the living organisms that are present on this earth, into these five different kingdoms. This we have done in our regular classes in the theory. First kingdom is the Monera. This kingdom Monera, to which all this is the kingdom of bacteria, to which all the unicellular prokaryotes, unicellular bacteria, they belong to it. Then next in the row it comes the kingdom of Protista. So this kingdom is called as the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. Fine, to which all the amoeba, paramecium, protozoas they belong. Then next come the fungi. So this is the kingdom of fungi. Fine. To which all the mushrooms, rhizopas they belong. Then next come the plantae. So this kingdom plantae, it includes all the plants. So that's why this kingdom it is called as the kingdom of plants. Then on the top of it, it comes the kingdom of Animalia, to which all the animals they belong. So that's why this kingdom it is also called as the kingdom of animals. Fine. So one by one we will going to see the representative members or the specimens that are found in each of these kingdoms. Fine. So today we will be starting with the Monera. Now here you can see. Here you can see, now this is the bacteria. Specimen 1 that we have is the bacteria. See, for the bacteria we have permanent slides in our lab. So when you will come to the school, we will show you the permanent slide that you will going to view under the microscope. So since these bacteria, they are microscopic. So that's why you require the microscope to see them. You cannot see them with your unaided eyes because they are very tiny, they are very small in size. So let's begin with the bacteria, specimen 1. Fine. So I have taken some virtual images from the internet. So with the help of it, we will going to study it. So the bacteria, it belongs to the kingdom Monera. Division is the Schizophyta. Order is the Eubacteriales and type is the bacteria. Fine. And this is a diagram showing the structure of the bacteria. So first of all, what are the bacteria? See, these bacteria, they are the microscopic, unicellular prokaryotic organism. Fine. See, these bacteria, they are found in the variety of the shapes. Here you can see in the different shapes and form they can be found like this. They can be round. They can be round like that of the cocci, spherical like that of the cocci. They can be rod shaped. They can be rod shaped like this. Fine, they can be rod shaped like this. Such type of bacteria they are called as the bacilli or the bacillus. Then next come the spirillum. Spirillum, these are the spiral shaped bacteria. Fine. Then next comes the vibrio. Vibrio means comma. So here you can see these are the vibrios, the comma shaped bacteria. And then comes the filamentous oscillatoria. For this I have to go on the next slide. So this is a filamentous bacteria. It is also called as a blue-green alga. Its name is Oscillatoria. So all this, they belong to this kingdom Monera. Fine. This is the kingdom of bacteria. This is the kingdom of unicellular prokaryotes. So these are the different forms of the bacteria in which they can be found. Fine. Now let's talk about the cellular structure of bacteria. So this bacteria, when we see into the structure of this bacteria, see this bacteria, it has a prokaryotic cellular structure. This bacteria, its body, it is made up of only single cell. It is made up of only single cell, that is, it is unicellular. And this single cell, it is prokaryotic. It is a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell means it's a kind of the primitive cell which do not have a well-defined nucleus, as well as it also do not have the membrane-bound cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, like Golgi complex, like mitochondria, like chloroplast in it. All these are absent. That's why they are prokaryotic. Pro means primitive. So that's why they have the prokaryotic organization in them. Now, so this is the structure of the bacteria. Here you can see this is the unicellular single cell body of this bacteria. It is microscopic. It is very small that you require the microscope to see them. Here you can see the outermost layer is a cell wall. So the cell wall is the outermost layer of this bacteria. It is mainly made up of the polysaccharides. That and then comes the layer that is the plasma membrane. It is present just beneath the cell wall. Fine. And inside the whole cavity inside this bacteria, it is filled with the means of cytoplasm. And this cytoplasm, it contains a single circular chromosome in it. Fine. Single circular chromosome in it. And here you can see, that's why such type of nucleus it do not have. Here you can see chromosome, they are naked. DNA, it is naked. It is not surrounded by the means of any nuclear membrane. So such type of the nucleus you cannot call as a true nucleus. It is a false nucleus. And such type of chromosome, such type of nuclear organization which is found in this bacteria, we will simply call it as a nucleoid. Nucleoid where DNA, it is naked, it is circular, and it is single. And it is directly present inside the cytoplasm. There is no nuclear membrane to surround it. Fine. So here you can see the nucleoid is there which is found in the bacteria. Now, the next are the inside this cytoplasm you can find the ribosome. So 70S type of the ribosome. You find 70S type of the ribosomes in the bacteria. Fine. So what are the functions of this ribosome? These ribosomes simply help in the manufacturing of the protein. That's why these are called as the protein factories of this bacteria. Now, see this bacteria, it can move. It can move from one place to another. Here you can see with the help of this flagella, it simply moves from one place to another. So it is motile in nature. Fine. And then let's talk about the economic importance. Some bacteria, they can be beneficial. They can be beneficial like that of the lactic acid bacteria. These lactic acid bacteria, they are beneficial because they help in the formation of the curd, and besides, there are some other bacteria which helps in the production of certain commercially important products like that of the acetone, like that of the vinegar and all. Fine. So in this way, these bacteria, they can be beneficial also and they can be pathogenic also. Pathogenic bacteria, pathogen means a disease causing organism. So in this case, these bacteria, they are causing diseases in animals as well as in humans as well as in plants. Fine. So a variety of the disease that is caused by these bacteria in the humans. Let's say for example the Diplococcus pneumoniae. So this Diplococcus pneumoniae, it is caused. It simply causes this bacteria Diplococcus pneumoniae. It simply causes a disease in humans that we call as a pneumonia. Pneumonia, lung infection. Fine. Another kind of a disease which is caused by these bacteria, they are the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So this time, this Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria, it causes tuberculosis, TB in humans. So in this way, a variety of the diseases they are caused by these bacteria in the humans as well as in plants and in animals. Then next come the reproduction. How these bacteria they reproduce. See, these bacteria they reproduce by the asexual reproduction, that is called as a binary fission. So here in this slide you can see, here you can see how these bacteria they are multiplying so fast. They are multiplying so fast at a tremendous rate by this process which is called as a binary fission. They simply reproduce, they simply multiply, they simply divide. The parent cell, it simply divides into the two, and these two daughter cells then finally develops into the two daughter bacteria. Fine. And in a fraction of seconds, thousands, hundreds of bacteria they are produced. Fine. And all these happen under the favorable condition. But what happens when the unfavorable conditions are there? So under the unfavorable conditions, these bacteria they simply form endospore. Endospore means cyst. So under this cyst, by forming this endospore, they simply pass on their unfavorable condition, and when all the favorable condition will come, they will again germinate or develop into such active bacteria. They will again start reproducing by this method of binary fission. So in this way, this bacteria it completes. Now the specimen 2 is the Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria again it belongs to the kingdom Monera, that is a kingdom of bacteria. Division is the Cyanophyta, order is the Cyanophyceae, type is the Oscillatoria. See, this is a filamentous bacteria. We also called as a filamentous blue-green alga or filamentous cyanobacteria. Fine. See, here you can see where these oscillatoria, where these bacteria they are found, which are also called as a blue-green alga. First of all, why they are called as a blue-green alga? Because they contain a green pigment like that of the chlorophyll that are found in the true plants. That's why they are called as a blue-green alga, but they are not the true algae that belongs to the kingdom plants. They are bacteria. They are bacteria, they are cyanobacteria. Fine. So you find these oscillatoria growing in the stagnant water, ganda pani, ponds, pools, ditches, uh, as well as on the roads and all, like that of the greenish, bluish green scum like this on the surface of the water. Here you can see on the lands, on the soil. Fine. So now, when we talk about the structure of this bacteria, so this is the structure of this bacteria. Here you can see. See this bacteria, it is first of all, this bacteria, it is filamentous. It is a filamentous bacteria. So this, each filament of this bacteria, or I can say the blue-green alga or cyanobacteria, it consists of a trichome. Here you can see the trichome is there. Trichome is there. So this trichome, it is made up of a row of cylindrical cells. A row of cylindrical cells, they are stacked upon one upon each other, fine, and they form a trichome, fine. All these trichome, they are enveloped in a sheet of mucilage, so that since they are present in the water, so that they do not become desiccate. That's why a mucilage covering is present around them, and the tip of this trichome it simply oscillates, hilta hai. It oscillates like a pendulum. That's why it is called as a oscillatoria, because the tip of this trichome it simply oscillates in the water. In the water, that's why we call them as a oscillatoria. We commonly call it as the oscillatoria. Now, each of the filament, each cell of this filament, when we see its structure in detail like this, so here you can see this is the one of the cell of this filament of this trichome. It has a typical prokaryotic organization. मतलब हर एक cell जो है, it is a typical prokaryotic cell. No distinct nucleus is present. No distinct nucleus is present. Nuclear membrane is entirely absent. Cytoplasm, it is also differentiated into the two parts. What are these two parts? Peripheral part, this peripheral part, it is called as a chromoplasm. It is called as the chromoplasm or the chromatoplasm. And the central cytoplasm, it is lighter in color. It is called as a centroplasm. So this chromoplasm, it is darkly stained due to the presence of pigment in it, and this time the pigment is green color pigment, that's why they look green in color. Fine. And the centroplasm, it contains the circular naked DNA without any nuclear membrane. So it's a feature of prokaryotic cell. It's a feature of prokaryotic cell. Besides these, you can find the granules in it, storage granules, you can find a vacuole in it. So all these structure you also found. And you also found a bacterial cell wall around it. Fine. Made up of the polysaccharide. Now the reproduction. So this oscillatoria, it reproduced by the formation of hormogonia as well as by the means of fragmentation. Each of these cells of this filament, they will break down, they will germinate to produce the new oscillatoria. Fine. So now this is all the description of this. The next come the amoeba. So next specimen third is the amoeba. This time the kingdom is Protista. So this Protista kingdom, it is the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. Now the eukaryotic cell, they have appeared. Now this is single cell. Fine. So, and the division is the protozoa. That's why they are called as the protozoans. Commonly, all the members of this division, they are called as the protozoan. The type is the amoeba, that is the amoeba proteus. Here you can see the amoeba proteus is there. Fine. Now, then next, let's start with amoeba. So these organisms, they are irregular in shape. They do not have any regular shape. They are irregularly shaped, and they look very much like amoeba. So that's why they are called as the amoeboid protozoans. And where do you find these? They are these living organisms. They are found in the freshwater, lakes, ponds, as well as in the seawater also, as well as in the moist soil also. So these are all the possible regions where you found these amoeba. See, these amoeba, they are also very microscopic. We have the slides of it. So when you will come to the lab school, then I will show its slide. Again, you require the microscope to see it. So this is the virtual image of this amoeba. Now we will today we will going to study it only. Fine. So see, these amoeba, they do not have any regular shape. They are simply irregular in shape. Fine. They simply move from one place to another with the help of the certain finger-like projections. Here you can see the finger-like projections are there. These finger-like projections, they are called as a pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means false feet. So these pseudopodia, they are found in these amoeba. इसको जिस direction में move करता है, simply take out the pseudopodia in that direction and move in that direction. So in this way, it helps in the locomotion of this amoeba from one place to another, and it also helps in the capturing of their prey. Fine. So in this way it happens. Now the reproduction. So here you can see how this amoeba, it is reproducing by the binary fission. Whole parental cell, it divides by the cell division into the two, and each of these daughter cells, now they will develop into the new amoeba, new daughter amoeba. So this process is called as a binary fission. It's very quick. Now the next is a rhizopus. Next specimen 4 is a rhizopus, that is a bread mold. The kingdom is a fungi, division is a Eumycophyta, and class is a Zygomycetes, and genus is a Rhizopus. Fine. Here you can find. You must have noticed that sometimes your bread, it becomes like this. Your bread, will become stale, stinky like this. What is this green or white color cottony substance? This is all the rhizopus. That's why it is also called as a bread mold. इससे आपकी पूरी ब्रेड खराब हो जाती है, स्पॉइल हो जाती है. So you find this rhizopus. It grows commonly on the stale bread, decaying vegetables and fruits. Fine. Here, since this is a fungi, so the body of the fungi, it is multicellular. It is multicellular. It is made up of a. It is made up. It is multicellular. It is made up of a hyphae. It is made up of the hyphae, and the network of these hyphae. These are the tubular structure which are called as the hyphae. And the network of this hyphae we called is at the mycelium. So here you can see the mycelium is there. Mycelium is there. Fine. So now, in this case, the hyphae of this mycelium, it is It is branched. It is branched. Here you can see branch is there, but it is unseptate. When there is no partition wall or septa is present in it, then all the nuclei they bath in the common cytoplasm. Then such type of condition it is called as a coinocytic hyphae and the coinocytic mycelium. Coinocytic mycelium. Fine, because there is no partition wall, there is no septa, it is totally unseptate. That's why all the nuclei they are present together in the common cytoplasm. अब क्या हो गया, सेम साइटोप्लाज्म है और न्यूक्लियाई बहुत सारे हैं, कोई पार्टीशन नहीं है. So that's why this condition it becomes multinucleate. And such type of hyphae they are called as a coinocytic hyphae, और इनसे जो mycelium बनेंगे they will be called as a coinocytic mycelium. Fine. Now here you can see all these mycelia, they arrange themselves like that. Horizontally growing hyphae, they are called as a stoloniferous hyphae, or they are called as a stolons. And other hyphae that penetrate into the substratum in this case it's like a bread, or any other substratum. It can be like that of the fruit or vegetable. Fine. So it will penetrate into it with the help of the rhizoidal hyphae. Rhizoidal hyphae we commonly called as the rhizoids. Fine. So these two kinds of the hyphae can be possible. When it grows horizontally, it is called as a stolon. When it penetrates into the substratum, it is called as a rhizoid. Now, vertically on these rhizoids, you will see a stalks. Aerial stalks are there. These are called as the sporangiophores. These sporangiophores, they bear the numerous sporangiums. These are the fruiting bodies, spore-containing bodies. Spore-containing bodies in which the spores are filled. So these sporangia, they are present at the tip of this sporangiophore. They are filled with the spores in it. And all these spores, in this case, they are the black in color, due to which you will going to see a black color in its reproductive stage. पूरी black bread कभी green दिखती है, कभी black दिखती है. It is all due to the black spore that it has produced. It has produced that are contained in this sporangium. Fine, due to which sometimes your bread looks black in color, and it shows that this mycelium it is reproducing. It is in its reproductive phase. Now, asexual reproduction in this fungi, it mainly occurs by the means of the asexual spores, and sexual reproduction it occurs by the means of the sexual spores. So in this way, the description of this is done. Then next is a specimen fifth. It is the agaricus mushroom. Fine. Now here you can see agaricus mushroom is there. Fine. Now, so now it belongs to the kingdom fungi. Division is a Eumycophyta. Class is the Basidiomycetes, and genus is the agaricus. Fine. So it is a saprophytic fungus. It is a saprophytic fungus. Why the word saprophytic is written? The thing is that this fungi, since it is growing on the dead plants and animals, it obtained its food from the dead remains of plants and animals. That's why it is saprophytic in nature. This is the mode of its nutrition, from the dead plants and animals. That's why it is called as a saprophytic fungus that grows in the humus-rich soils, piles of the straw, rotting wood logs, dead plants and animals. And when we see into the structure of this fungi, it has a branched and septate mycelium which grows under the substratum. This time the substratum, it is the soil. Fine. So this mycelium, it produces numerous white colored fruiting body. These are the beautiful cream colored or white colored fruiting body. They look like umbrella. These fruiting body, they are called as a basidiocarps. They grow above the substratum. So this is the basidiocarp. This is the fruiting body of this mushroom. Mushroom is a common name for the agaricus. Fine. Then this basidiocarp, it consists of a stipe. It consists of a stalk. This stalk we call as a stipe, and it also consists of a cap. This cap we call as a pileus. Pileus. And this pileus, it is circular, it is dome shaped, it is umbrella shaped in structure, and it bears numerous vertical plate-like structures. Here you can see numerous vertical plate-like structures. These are all the gills, but these are not. These are gills. These gills are different from those gills that are found in the fishes. Here these gills they are present, but the spaces between these gills they contain club-shaped basidia or basidium in it. And these basidia they bear the basidiospores on it. Basidiospores on it. So in this way, all these basidiospores, they are the sexual spores that are produced in these mushrooms with the help of which they reproduces sexually. They reproduce sexually. These basidiospores, they will germinate to produce a new fungi, new mushroom, new agaricus in this case. Fine. And all these basidiospores, they are produced after the meiosis in this fruiting body, in this basidium, and these are all haploid spores containing n number of chromosomes. They will germinate to produce new fungi like this. Fine. So in this way, this is all the description of this mushroom. We have the specimens of all of these. Now I will show you, and we will then again go together, we will then study it. The next is the Saccharomyces yeast. So here you can see Saccharomyces yeast, the kingdom is a fungi, division is a Mycophyta, class is the Ascomycetes, and genus is the Saccharomyces. Fine. So these are the unicellular fungi. These are the unicellular fungi which are commonly called as a yeast. These yeast, they are only the unicellular fungi that are found in nature. Rest all are multicellular. इससे पहले हमने जो भी करी, they were all multicellular. So these are only the unicellular fungi. These are the yeast. Their body is made up of a single cell. This single cell, it is oval or elliptical in shape. Fine. It is covered by the means of a fungal cellulose wall that is made up of the chitin. Now, where do you find these yeast? These yeast, they are generally found growing in the sugary substances, sugary medium like that of the fruit juices like nectar, like the cane juice and all. Fine. Now, the cytoplasm, they contain a large central vacuole with a nucleus on its side, but they have a typical eukaryotic cell in it. Fine. And besides these volatile granules and glycogen droplets, they are also found as a reserve food material in the cytoplasm of this fungi. Now we will discuss the asexual reproduction. So here the asexual reproduction, it occurs by the means of the budding. Here you can see this is the parent yeast cell. On the one side of this a small bud grows. This bud grows. Again a chain of the buds it appear, and each of these buds they will separate from each other as well as from the parent body, and each of these buds they will grow into a new yeast, new unicellular yeast. So in this way asexual reproduction is done. Then the sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction occurs by the formation of ascospores. So these are the ascospores that are produced in this ascus, sac-like structure ascus. They are produced on the fruiting body that are called as ascocarp. That are called as a ascocarp. This all we have done in our regular theory classes. This is the practical part that we are doing. Ascocarp. So these ascocarp, they bear ascus on its tip, and this ascus is filled with the ascospores. These ascospores, they are haploid. And they will germinate to produce the new yeast. So in this way, the life cycle completes of this fungi yeast. Now we will move towards I will show you the models of it. For it, now let's start with the models. I'll stop sharing my slide. Now here you can see this is the yeast that we have talked of. So this is the yeast that belong to the Ascomycetes class. Here you can see the unicellular yeasts are there. Here you can see the unicellular yeast are there. Fine. Unicellular yeast are there. See, these yeast, they have a very economic importance, very good economic importance. The thing is that, see, these yeast, they can be used for the baking, for the baking, for the manufacturing of the baking products like that of the pizza base, burger base, and all. Fine. So it can be the baker's yeast also, and it can also be used for the production of the liquors also. So it can be brewer's yeast also like that for the production of liquors like the wines, whiskey, rum, gin, and all. Fine. So this yeast that I have shown, this is the model. When you will come, I will show you this model. So these are all the unicellular yeast. Then next we have studied about the mushroom. So this is the model of the mushroom that we have in our lab that we have in our lab. Here you can see the stalk that we call as a stipe, and here you can see the cream colored or the white colored uh, umbrella shaped pilus is there. So this is the commonly called mushroom that we have studied today. Fine. So this is the specimen. And then next is a rhizopus. So here you can see the rhizopus is there. So rhizopus is there. So rhizopus, which is commonly called as a bread mold, due to which your bread it gets spoiled. So this is that rhizopus. This is that rhizopus. Fine. So rhizopus is there. So all these models that we will be going to again study when you will come to the school. Fine. So all these specimens are there in our biology lab. If any specimen comes in exam, so first you have to identify it, and then you have to write any 3 to 4 comments on it, and you have to draw a well-labeled diagram in your biology practical exams. Then only you will get the full marks for the spotting. All these specimens, they will come in the spotting. Fine. So it's all the end for today's session. So now, in the next, we will study about the next practical. Right? So till now, till then, have a great day. Have a nice day. Bye.